Welcome back, guys. Today I want to go over the Sig MPX. Now, I've had this Sig for roughly 3 months now, and I've got 1300-ish rounds through it. I've shot it quite a bit, and I've had quite a bit of problems out of it. We'll get into those problems later. We're going to talk about some of the things I changed, some of the things I wish Sig did different, and overall, do I trust this 100% with my life? And we'll get into that. First off, the model that we have, which is cleared, this is the MPX Copperhead K. This model has a short 4.5-inch barrel. It is threaded Sig's weird like 13-1 left hand, and it has tapered muzzle threads, which that's going to be my first complaint. Everything else you buy from the United States, built in the United States, has half 28 threads for 9mm, which is super common. With the Sig, you have to buy something weird. You got to use their weird muzzle device, and a lot of people have issues putting like an adapter with a can on it, and their accuracy goes to shit. A lot of people are having to shell out $500 for an inlet We Trust barrel. I didn't want to spend almost $2,000 on a gun and then have to turn around and buy a $500 barrel for it to make it run right. So we have a Yankee Hill R9, and it is direct thread on here with the proper muzzle device. Now, accuracy out of this, I gotta say, is on par with anything else I've ever shot as far as a PCC. This thing is an absolute tack driver. But if I wanted to go with a quick attach device such as a tri-lug adapter, or with one of the other manufacturers quick adapt, I would have to get something that is going to probably more than likely throw my accuracy off. And it's not just me that is seeing this. There are multiple videos on YouTube, forums. People are just having issues with accuracy putting cans on these. I direct thread this, and it's great. So that's my first complaint. Let's go half 28. I mean, Sig should listen to the people that are buying these. You shouldn't have to buy a $2,000 gun and then put a $500 barrel in it to make it so you can shoot it suppressed without spending the money on Sig's proprietary suppressors they got. Because when I got the gun, I did email Sig and ask them, hey, what is the best muzzle device and suppressor to put on here to not have accuracy issues, because I understand it's an ongoing problem. They told me to buy one of their cans because they have the proper muzzle attachments for it. And again, none of those are quick detach. They're all, you got to leave them threaded on there, or you have to thread these things on every time you want to use it. Now, if you use this as a truck gun or backpack gun, which it would make a great backpack gun for as short as it is, you want to leave the suppressor on it if possible, or you want to be able to just pop it on and run it instead of having to sit there and hold on, wait a minute, thread. Let me get the suppressor on here. Yeah, I got to really use this. Just one more minute. All right, hang on. Yep, almost there. Let's get ready. Yeah, that's dumb. Make this compatible with everything on the fucking market, not just what you sell. Another drawback, I'm going to call it a drawback, of having the Copperhead version is it does not have a dust port cover, which isn't that big of a deal, but it's kind of nice to have. The standard MPX and MPX-K has it, but the Copperhead models do not have that dust port cover. And 3, you can't change the forend on these. So that's 3 things I know Sig really needs to change, really need to look at. Even though we wanted a smaller, lighter gun, it is nice to have a dust port covered, and it's also nice to be able to change your handguard if you want. This is what you got. That's what you're stuck with. Another issue with this, when I try to put any standard Picatinny M-lock adapter on this, every M-lock adapter I found so far hits the barrel. So that's going to throw your trajectory off. So, I mean, I don't know. They could bring this out a little bit farther, open it up big enough to hold an 1.5-inch can. That would be very helpful. And again, I doubt Sig's going to watch one guy's video and go, oh yeah, these are all the problems we need to address. Let's fix them. We know they're not going to. They won't usually fix the problems that other people have, like their 320 going off. And that's kind of an issue. I had the exact opposite issue with this. When you buy these, they come with this Timney trigger. Now the trigger that comes in these is phenomenal. Like the brake on it is super clean. It's a single stage trigger. When it breaks, I mean, it's just, there's no movement. It's just probably one of the better triggers I have felt in my entire life. But it didn't always reset. I was having some major issues with it getting reset. I took it out, cleaned it, put it back in, and had the exact same issues. I even tightened the little screws that go on the bottom of it up. I loosened those up a little bit, and if you do that, your trigger pins want to start walking. So I just was like, you know what, I'm done with that Timney trigger for now. And I put one of the LaRue MBT triggers in this. It's a 2-stage trigger, and it does what it's supposed to do. I've not had any issues with the trigger resetting since I put that in. Now we'll move on to the controls of this. This is somewhat ambi. It's not, they call it fully ambi. It is not full ambi. There are other models on the market, not of the Sig, but other manufacturers make, that you can lock the bolt back from this side of the gun. So if I want to lock the bolt back, this is a bolt release only. It only releases the bolt. You still have to come around here to this side like you would on a normal AR platform and lock that back. Now, it's not that big of a complaint because I'm used to running ARs that are non-ambi, and I've finally got a nice ambi AR, and I love it, and it's pretty much making all my other ARs feel cheap. But this is not fully ambi. I cannot lock the bolt back from this side. Another complaint a lot of people have, they sell a lifter to go inside of this to help with that. I mean, this thing has so much flop in that charge handle. It doesn't take a standard charge handle. It takes an MPX specific charging handle. I know Geisley makes one. There are a few other manufacturers that make some, and they also make a block that goes in here to hold that up, which is not that big of a deal because I really don't have the bolt back or the handle back very often unless I'm charging it and getting ready to run it. So, but when it's forward, it's actually a pretty decent charging handle. It's got enough to grab a hold of. You can do it from either side. So that is nice having that. I'm glad they put that in there. But it'd be nice if it wasn't so damn floppy. I mean, this thing, like you saw it flops around pretty damn good. Like there's quite a bit of movement there. And it makes it feel kind of cheap. Now for the safety selector on this. This does have ambi controls on the safety selector. You have one side that's longer than the other, which I wish I could switch those side to side like I do on my IWI guns, but I can't because it's a 2-piece safety as opposed to a 3-piece safety, which, I mean, the MPX has been out for a while. They've had several generations and it's not been addressed. I'm a left-handed shooter, and it's nicer to have a little bit longer throw on one side than the other, because like with this one, I can't even reach to put it on safety. So I do like I always do on other guns that aren't ambi, and I run the safety with this part of my hand, which isn't that big of a deal. Now, as far as the LaRue MBT trigger, this is not what this video is about. It is pretty damn decent. You have this much take up and a nice clean break. Now, when you buy the MPX Copperheads, the Copperheads come with this super tiny grip, and it's like all of the Copperheads have them. It's really small. It feels really weird in your hand. So that was the first #1 thing I changed out on this gun. I did put the Thrill. Thrill also makes Sig's magazines. We'll get into that here in a second. But I put Thrill's, I think it's RTG or something grip. It says it on there. Yes, it's their RTG grip. This grip is phenomenal. It feels really, really good. It's a natural feeling grip. It's not lacking anything. I do wish they made a plug deal on the bottom of it to throw extra batteries or whatnot in there, because I do love being able to put batteries in my grip. But that's not super important. For the price of what these things cost, it is a phenomenal grip, and I would definitely buy one of these again. Another issue with the Copperhead is Picatinny space. I don't really have a whole lot of room up here to run a whole lot of anything, being that I was having issues trying to get a M-lock attachment on the side. I decided not to run a light on this, a white light, just for the fact that I wanted a gun set up for night vision. I bought a pair of nods, well, a single nod, I don't know what you want to call it, but it's a but I bought the PVS 14, and it's got a single ocular center right here in the middle of your face. And with this, I tried to run a couple optics without risers, and I could not get that PVS in behind it comfortably. With this, I can just pull up, and I'm right there, right in the middle of my face, and I can see perfectly through my red dot. I did put the Holosun 515 on this, and I'm running the Holosun LS321G laser on this. It does not have visible light. It's IR, visible laser, and IR laser. And instead of having to reach up here to turn it on, I opted to put the tape switch that comes with it right there, so I can still get my hand up and run this once I turn on the selector switch and do my carrying on with the controls. This does have ambi controls on it. You put your magazine in, and you can release it from this side, or you can release it from this side. Now, to drop your mag out properly, you need to press back here, because if you press up here, you're not getting your magazine out. This release is on a fulcrum. It has a fulcrum point in the center of it. You press toward the back, your magazine comes out. Now, on this side, if you're right-handed, you can come up and press your mag release, and she pops right out. I also put on the SB Tactical sliding brace. It comes out. This is a brace. This attaches to the rear Picatinny adapter, but you can only put this in one spot. If you were to move this up and down to adjust for height, you're going to lose your collapsing capability because it rides into the sides of the upper receiver. And it's really easy to manipulate. It's got a button on it. You can just press it as she drops in. If you really need to get this out, press it with one hand like this, yank her out, and you can go. Again, it's just that easy to run. And I'll also say, this is probably the strongest feeling brace I've ever felt in my life. This is extremely sturdy. There's no wobble, no play. I mean, this is a very well-built brace. And, I mean, kudos to them for making one that's a damn nice brace. It has a quick attach and detach sling mount back here. There are no provisions on this for a front sling mount. You have to add your own. And again, I just haven't done that yet. And I know a lot of people do not like these GBRS risers. I got this, like I said earlier, because I bought a PVS 7. And it puts my mount up really high. So I can just easily pull that right into my line of sight. And I am good to go. Like I said, I did set this up to run with night vision. That's why I didn't put a white light on it. I mean, I still might later on down the road. That's if I keep it, because I want to get into the reliability of this gun. It's not just me talking, blowing smoke up your ass. Like I said, I've got 12 or 1300 rounds through this. I bought multiple magazines. It's not been a magazine issue, except for the mag that came with the gun. I got the, it's somewhere, it's in my pocket. I bought this magazine. This is the 20 round magazine that comes with it. And I've had some issues with this feeding, so I wouldn't throw that in my kit. I wouldn't even throw it in my go bag. The mags that you buy from Sig now are made by Thrill also. So if you're on the fence about buying a magazine that is manufacturer made, this is the exact same magazine as this. This one here says Sig on it. You can see a spot right there where they do an insert change on these magazines. After a quick insert change, that same exact magazine is now a Thrill. I also noticed that the follower on these are also brand specific. This one has a Thrill follower in it. This one has a Sig marked follower, and they are identical. So there's not, you shouldn't have, if one of these feed well, the other one should feed well also. Like I said, I just don't know what's going on with that 20 round magazine that I got, the one that came with it. But definitely don't be scared to buy the Thrill magazines. They're a little bit cheaper than the Sig branded magazines, and it's the exact same thing. So I wouldn't waste your money on it just because it says Sig as opposed to another company on it. But as far as reliability goes, I've had quite a bit of issues with this. This gun needs to be extremely wet to run properly. Like, it needs a lot of lube. I have the Longest it's ran without any malfunctions is this last string of shots that I put through it. I think I got 400 rounds on it right now. And toward the end of those 400, I got a few minor failure to feed. It was just kind of, it was getting really dirty. Shooting with a suppressor gets dirty anyway. I've recently cleaned out the gas plug on this, and it was pretty dirty. It wasn't dirty enough to cause malfunctions, I don't believe. I did put grease on the stem of the bolt, and that seems to make the gun last a little longer as far as in between cleanings and lubrication. But I've had issues with this where it didn't want to feed at all. It had issues going in the battery, and I put a little bit of oil in there, and it ran again. So if you have one of these, make sure you keep some lube because you're going to need it. I don't know if other MPXs do that. I don't know if they get more rounds on them that goes away where to run dry, but this does not like to run dry. It needs a lot of lubrication, and like I said, I found it best to put grease on the bolt stem. That seems to help the go in the battery a lot better. Now, I did expect a lot more out of this gun. I expected this to run way more flawless than it did. I've had more malfunctions with this than I would care to admit. And I mean, it's such a good looking gun. It's short, compact, it fits the role of what I need it for. But for this gun to be reliable, it needs a lot of maintenance. And it's not something that you're going to be able to just, you know, neglect and have a good running, dependable gun. I've had Strybogs go longer without cleanings. I've had way cheaper guns go a lot longer, or as far as PCCs. Even the Scorpion, you don't need to clean those near as often. But this gun needs a steady cleaning schedule. Every time you take it out and shoot it, bring it home and clean it. Because you might have issues later on trying to get this gun to fire. And if you need that gun and it doesn't fire and it's jamming up on you, that's kind of defeats the purpose of having a gun. And then having a gun that is supposed to be above and beyond what most other PCCs are. Thought seriously about offering this and getting an MP5 because I just don't know if I trust this 100%. Once it's cleaned and lubed, I would trust it. But yeah, don't expect to take like a day course, run 1,000 rounds through it and not have to do any maintenance, because I doubt you're going to be able to pull a full 1,000 rounds off through this without some sort of maintenance and cleaning. And also, like I said, this Timney trigger is really, really good when it works, but it was dying. Like, it was just a dead trigger. I'd go to pull the trigger and there was nothing there. Nothing at all. Bolt was fully in the battery. I even took the upper receiver off of it. I was trying to pull the trigger with my thumb over the hammer and it would not come up. Once I pushed the hammer down and kind of wiggled it, it would fire again. But there was definitely some resetting issues with that Timney trigger, and I did not want to contact Sig and be without my gun for weeks on end. Plus, I'd already changed a few things on this. I changed the grip. I figured they'd be like, "Oh, you changed your grip. That's causing your trigger not to work." No, that's not the issue. I was having issues with that before I even changed the this little tiny grip out. I mean, that's not for man-sized hands. This thing is extremely small. I don't even have big hands, and I can cover it completely in my hand. Yeah, but let me know what you think about the MPX, and if you've thought about getting one, or if you've owned one or shot one, got a buddy that's got one. I'd like to know your thoughts on this, because I want to love this gun, but it's really hard to love something that needs so much attention. And I got other guns that I know can run dry, I know can run extremely dirty, and they just keep ticking. This one here, not so much. But if you want to see any reviews on anything else we got on here, as far as like the attachments and the can, I'll probably do a review on this can shortly. And I'd like to get a nighttime review of this and show how it works at night, under night vision. But if you want to see those, stay tuned and subscribe if you'd like. That really helps the channel out a lot. Yeah, but as always, guys, thank you for watching. Stay safe, and let's take back our Second Amendment. Alright, triggered that again. Same issue we had before. One of them. Dead trigger again. Trigger's still fucking dead. This is fucking unacceptable. The P320 goes off without the trigger being pulled. This motherfucker won't go off when the trigger is pulled. I'm probably done with fucking Sig.